everyone, it's Miss Melody from the Ludington Library Junior Room. Welcome back to Try It Out with Miss Melody. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite fall snacks, which is roasted pumpkin seeds. This is a great recipe to make after you have carved some pumpkins so that you don't let the seeds on the inside go to waste. Today we are going to be using a sharp knife and the oven, so you want to make sure that you have an adult to help you out. Here are some supplies that you're going to need. The most important thing, of course, is a pumpkin. You can use a large carving pumpkin if you like, or you can use a small baking pumpkin. I'm going to be making some pumpkin soup out of this pumpkin later, so this is the one that I'm going to use to get my pumpkin seeds out. You will also need a sharp knife to get the top off of your pumpkin. You will need a baking tray that is covered either with aluminum foil or parchment paper, some salt, 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and a measuring spoon to measure that with. 2 bowls, one that is filled with a little bit of water to help rinse out your pumpkin seeds, and either some paper towels or some kitchen towels to dry off your seeds. You will also need access to an oven because we are going to be baking our seeds at 300 degrees. So before we even get started, we're going to go ahead and preheat our oven to 300 degrees. So we are going to start by opening up your pumpkin. You're going to need a sharp knife to do that. I've actually already done that with my pumpkin. You want to make sure that you cut enough around that you can stick your hand into the pumpkin, because that's how we're going to get our seeds out. You're either going to use your hand or you can use a large metal spoon if you'd like. This is a great sensory activity, just pulling out all of those pumpkin guts. As you pull it out, you'll notice you're going to get some of that orange, slimy pumpkin guts. The big chunks of slimy pumpkin you're going to want to put to the side. Then you're going to want to put the rest of your seeds that might still have some orange stuff on them into your bowl that has water in them. As you stir around your seeds in the water, all the pumpkin stuff should sink to the bottom and your seeds will float to the top. So it'll separate kind of that stringy pumpkin gut from the seeds. And all we really want are the seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out all the seeds in here. Get a huge handful of them. This actually has really large seeds for such a small pumpkin. And I'm going to stick them in my bowl to rinse them off. This might get a little messy, and that's okay. So you might want to put maybe a tablecloth down or maybe some newspapers if you're worried about making a big mess on your table. So this is going to take just a minute. I'm going to pull out all the seeds I can, and then I'll show you the next step. Now I've gotten all of the seeds out of my pumpkin. I found all the seeds inside, and I put them in my bowl with water. I'm going to swish my seeds around a little bit to separate any of the other pumpkin guts that might be sticking to them, and that should sink to the bottom of my bowl. Then I'm going to lay out a kitchen towel, or if you want to use paper towels instead, you can, because we need to dry off our seeds after they have been in the water. We don't want to stick them into the oven wet. So I'm going to scoop up my pumpkin seeds, and I'm going to spread them out on the towel. Get all of these out of here, lay them out in a single layer, and then we're going to dry them off as soon as we get all of them out of the bowl. I have all of my seeds spread out on the towel here. I made them into one nice flat layer to try and get them as dry as possible. And as I was taking them out of the bowl, I also tried to kind of squeeze water out as I went. I'm going to put a second kitchen towel on top. Squeeze out all the extra moisture. So if you are using paper towels, you might need a couple of those because they're not quite as big as kitchen towels. Might need a few more. But we want to get those seeds nice and dry. We don't want all that extra water when we put them into the oven. And when they're dry, we're going to stick them into our second bowl that did not have the water in it. So this one we are done with. Now full of water and pumpkin guts. I'm going to dry out these seeds and we're going to stick them into the bowl. I dried off my seeds as best I could and I put them inside my bowl. Now we're ready to add our oil and salt. This is going to give our seeds a little bit of flavor. If you have little tiny bits of pumpkin guts of that orange stuff still sticking onto your seeds, that's okay. It will also give your seeds a little more flavor. So I'm going to take out my oil. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of oil into my bowl. 1, 2. Then I'm going to use my hands, or you can also use a spoon, to stir up your seeds in your oil so all of them are coated with oil. This is going to help your seeds get nice and crispy in the oven. Okay. After I've done that, I'm going to put in a little bit of salt. This is just a sprinkle enough to coat all of your seeds and give them a little bit of a salty flavor. If you like some other flavors, you can also add a little bit of chili powder if you want some spicy seeds, or you could add a little bit of garlic powder if you want them to be a little garlicky, but I just like regular salt. Then I'm going to toss that salt so that it coats my seeds as well. When they're coated, I'm ready to put them on my baking tray. When you put them on your baking tray, you want to make just one nice layer. You don't want the seeds on top of each other because they won't get as crispy if you do that. Pour this out. Spread all my seeds out with my hand so it makes one even layer all over my pan. We are going to bake these seeds at 300 degrees for 30 minutes, so half an hour. But we are also going to be turning our seeds about halfway through. So you're going to put them in the oven at 300 degrees for 15 minutes, leave them in there. Then you should stir them up with some sort of spatula, so you flip them over so both sides will get brown, and cook them for another 15 minutes. You'll know they're done when they look nice and browned on the outside but not burned, so that they'll be crispy when it's time to eat them. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the oven, and we'll see what they look like when they come out. Now my seeds are all roasted. You can see they're nice and brown on the edges and a little bit crispy. They've cooled off, and I'm ready to put them away and store them until I'm ready to eat them. You're going to want to store your pumpkin seeds in an airtight container so that no moisture gets in and kind of makes your seeds soggy, because you want them to be really crispy. My seeds are going to go into a jar that is actually going to go to the junior room, because for the next couple weeks, we're going to have a couple different estimation jars or guessing jars in the junior room, and you can try and see how many seeds I roasted. And if you are the closest, you could win a prize. So we would love to see you in person in the junior room, and if you want to come grab some books. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you later.